We're builders. Been building for about 30 years. Found that just lately things weren't as profitable as they were in the past, so we decided to look and see what else we could do. But we were having difficulties in business and found that we needed to look outside ourselves to find a solution to our performance problems. Just as Providence would have it, Mark came along and showed us what he could help us with. Been with Mark almost a year now. When we first talked to Mark about ActionCOACH, he said typically, statistically, they were saying that you could grow your profit by 60%. I would say that we've grown from the negative figures to positive figures way above that 60% mark in the 12 months.
They're really mainly about getting more confident as a business owner so that they're capable of making certain decisions and seeing opportunity and actually exploiting the opportunity.
The turnover hasn't increased as much as we would have thought with the increased performance and profitability, but there's certainly plenty of potential to grow more, and I'm no longer afraid to grow more. Time management wasn't something that we even considered or talked about. I was fairly committed in the business, spent lots of hours working in the business, and I found no problems with spending that time in business, but it wasn't doing the business any good. A huge change with learning about managing time, doing default diaries, committing specific times to specific tasks, delegating. It's all helped a great deal in me focusing more about growing a business and thinking about how the business should work rather than actually putting on the nail bag and working in the business as much as I used to.
Default diary, basically what we did is we really got very clear on the type of activities that he used to do that really didn't add anything to the bottom line of the business, and the activities that were crucial for him to be able to work on the business and grow the business.
It's been 12 months, and I consider that a fairly short time for our sort of business, being in business for so long. 12 months, as a ratio to how long we've been in business is not very long to make those changes. Got a good steady team, so it's been good to see them growing into their new roles and responsibilities. My wife's now involved in the business. She's now, after 30 years, given up teaching and helping me in the business, growing the business. So she's more inclusive in what's happening. She's more in touch with me, more than she's ever been before, because business was always separate from family, and that's a very difficult thing to do sometimes, particularly when things aren't going well. Keep a lot of things inside. Now we discuss things more openly. With the team as well, we're discussing things more openly, so I'm not feeling as I'm alone and being the only person that's being challenged by the situations that are around me. So getting a lot more out of work generally, and more enjoying the business than I have in the past. Well, he's keeping me accountable for everything that we do, and more importantly everything that we don't do, helping us realise that it's all up to us in terms of what we put into it, how we structure things in the business, and helps us make decisions, and then helps us be accountable for the decisions and making sure that we follow through, and of course helps us in terms of customer service, being on top of customer relations, and talking more about the trends of what other people are expecting of us.
For instance, having a whiffle, which is what I feel like expressing with the team, which is a very simple thing to do, but it draws the team in, and everyone feels like they're actually part of something. Also, what he's implemented is role clarity, so people are very clear on what's expected of them, what their key performance indicators are.
I think everything needs to have a system behind it. That way you can leverage your time better, and everybody else has clear guidelines as to what to do and when to do things, and that's certainly been a big factor in our performance improving. Systems in cost control on jobs, so that we can gauge performance during the job, not just look at the figures months afterwards when all the bills have come in. Step-by-step guidelines as to what part of the job comes next, just systemising the process of engaging subcontractors, purchasing. That's all given them a lot more power to carry on the work without me actually having to be on site.
Do systems on what should you have ready before you start a job, okay? So a lot of it is common sense, but without a system, often people waste a lot of time. So we're now working on office systems to make sure that, for instance, a lead has a path to follow, so it's very consistent. And that at all times we know where things are at. Basically, we've done an alignment where we work on we lock ourselves into a room for half a day, get very, very clear on our 5, 3 and 1 year goals, business and personal, because the business should serve the personal goals, otherwise what's the point? Once they got clear on that, it was a lot easier then to break it down into 90-day plans.
Yes, well, we didn't do any marketing before. We just stuck ads in the paper when things were getting slow, which was a useless thing. Relied very much on word of mouth, which has kept us going for all these years. Certainly.
So in terms of marketing, they did a bit here, did a bit there. It was very ineffective. So we basically got clear on, well, you know, what should we give a go to make sure that we get the most bang for our buck. And in their case, it was clearly the web. So being very clear on the profile of the company, making sure that people can find them, and part of that process is also having a follow-up system in place, so that people, once they inquire, actually feel like they're actually dealing with a very professional company.
Everything's now focused around goal setting, something we've never done before. The goal was always to get the next job. Get the next job finished, look for other work and so on. But now our goals are looking further and further into the future. We have our 3-month goal, 6-month goal, 5-year goal, and obviously the goal to 10, 15 years ahead. Well, it makes me feel a lot more comfortable with what we're doing, where we're headed, and a bit more certain about what the future's going to hold. Whereas before I didn't think about the future, it was just too difficult to even contemplate what was going to happen. Well, during our coaching sessions with Mark, we were keen to develop our business further. We came across this as a good opportunity, and we developed some marketing and set up a whole new business, branded ourselves as being experts in the field of accessibility. And that's paying dividends now. We're getting a lot of calls from people asking advice, asking for quotes, and we're just seeing the first few major jobs coming through from that.
It's a niche business. The sky's the limit, basically. So I can see that in probably 5 years' time, Alex and Lynn can have a hands-off approach. We can have someone in place who basically just has to follow the system, and if that's a person who has some leadership, it means that the business can run without Alex and Lynn, and really at the end of the day, that's what it's about, having a passive income or being able to sell the business for a very good profit.